You're still watching Today with John and Helen, live on Plus TV Africa, your family, business, success, and lifestyle show. The happenings around us, especially amongst young people, is definitely worrisome. And our guest is here to help us understand what exactly is happening to the younger generation.
Pastor Dolly Igbinosa is a mother, wife, convener of Set Free Crusade Network Ministry. She is a public speaker, gospel artist, businesswoman, and an author of Beneath the Glamour, a fast-selling book that talks about the secret pain and the gain of being a pastor's wife. Pastor Dolly Igbinosa is passionate and committed to helping this generation raise young men and women of honor, rich in moral and religious values. Join us at this point in time to welcome Pastor Dolly Igbinosa. How are you, madam? Good to see you.
And we're so happy to have you. I'll just do a little correction there. I think Helen murdered your name. Okay. It's actually Igbinosa.
Igbinosa.
You got it. I was like,
you were going to
Igbinosa.
Yes,
I said Igbinosa.
Yeah. So we're grateful that you were able to take time off your very busy schedule to be here with us. Let's try to x-ray the topic. That's restoring families and raising God-fearing sons and daughters.
All right, let's get to it because we do not have a lot of time.
We don't have any time.
Today's discussion is about restoring families and raising God-fearing sons and daughters. Why do you believe that this topic is so important at this point?
You know, this topic is very important. It's important that we talk about the way our children were supposed to be raised and the way they are raised and what is against them today. Because oftentimes we seem to be talking about our generation. We seem to be talking about, okay, this is the way we were raised, this is the way we behave. The children of these days, they are not aligned with the way things were in our time and all that. Knowing fully well that there are so many things that is against the children of this generation that were not against us. We didn't have those things to contend with, but they have those things to contend with. Then we had our parents who were always there for us, who had time. Most time they were peasant farmers. They had time. They are going to the farm. They carry us with them. Okay, if we go to school, before we come back from school, they are back home. They have all the time with us. But these children of this state, they don't have their parents to have that time with them and all that. So a lot of things.
But what? Yeah, you've talked about parents not having time. But that's, I think, just a part of the problem. What else would you say, the parents are facing as challenges these days, to be able to raise children the proper way?
Like in our time, the government does not dictate how our children were raised for the parents. They raise their parents the way they raise children the way they feel children should be raised. Because it shouldn't be a one-cap-fits-all for every family. The ways I will talk to my children, they will listen to me. My children may not talk to their children that way, and they will listen to them. I remember some time ago, I was talking to one of my grandchildren, and I just said something, and he said, "Grandma, why?" And I could remember vividly, my children never asked me such why. The way my grandchildren are asking me, "Grandma, why?"
Are you saying that you're a grandmother?
Yeah, of a 15-year-old.
You're looking so young.
Yeah, I'm 60 plus.
Whoa!
Yes.
You make the woman tell us.
Yeah, because I celebrated 60 last year. So
great, congratulations.
So a lot of those things are facing our children. Now you are telling your children something as a parent. Something else is telling that child something else outside. The social media, the internet, they are helping you to raise your children. Whether you like it or not, you don't want them to raise your children for you, but they are helping you. Sometimes we see some of these things from them. We monitor the use of it. You are monitoring the way your child is using his or her gadget. But somebody outside has this gadget that is not being monitored, and that person is influencing your child with the way your child is using the gadget.
So you just hit the nail on the head. Peer pressure.
Yes.
Peer group pressure is another major challenge.
Yes.
What strategies can parents adapt to help their children resist negative influences and stay true to their faith? We're hearing about young people in universities doing things that are unheard of, ganging up and beating up, you know, another student to the point of
death. Yeah. I think basically one of the ways we, the parents, are missing it is that we're so busy, we don't have time for our children. We are not friends to our children. You know, these children, the children of today, they are yearning for love. They are yearning for friendship. They are yearning for communication. And they want to get this from their parents. They want to be able to talk to their parents. Oftentimes when they try to talk to us, we don't understand. We don't see why they should ask us some of the questions they are asking us. Because we didn't ask our parents such questions. We didn't talk to we didn't talk to our parents that way. We felt they are not old enough to go into such discussions. At our age, we didn't have to discuss that with our parents. And so our children must go our own way. Forgetting that 21st century and our own time, it's not the same. The things that are fighting our children today, the things that our children are exposed to, we were not exposed to those things. So we don't even have idea of what these children are facing in terms of the battle that is facing them outside. Yes, we're talking to them. They are trying to listen to us, but something else is saying something else to them. I think what we parents should do is being friends to our children. We should be able to talk to them. We should reduce ourselves to become like their age, if need be, so that we can be able to talk to them. We shouldn't shut them up. We shouldn't see anything they discuss with us as this thing is sacred. You shouldn't go into such sacred thing at this area at this time. No, every area is good enough for our children to have a conversation about. And if they are not opening up, start the conversation. Be the one that always talk to them. Be the one that always go to every area to talk to them. You know, I think if parents can go that route, it will go a long way to help our children to open up.
Another area is because now thinking about it, you know, growing up, there was a lot of spirituality or guidance along, you know, religious. You know, our parents will hold us by the hand themselves. Now you almost like have a choice. Now I'm not going with you or whatever. You know, so what would you want to share some of the practical steps, you know, or strategies that parents can use to instill strong spiritual values in our children, because it's missing, clearly it's missing. Because if we want to go to that spiritual side, the Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he will go, and he will not depart. He even said, when he said, spare the rod and spoil the child, he said, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. It is the rod of correction that drives it away. He said, when you cane a child, he will not die. The Bible even used that word. He will not die for caning a child. But we're in a world, that's exactly the problem. The problem is that we're being told that if you spank a child, I'm not talking of using stick. The Bible is, when it says rod, there is not talking about stick. It's just something very light that you can use to correct a child. The Bible cannot be broken. It said foolishness is bound in the heart. The child will always want to do all the foolish things around. It is that rod of correction. What is your rod of correction also differs. My rod of correction can be different from your rod of correction. There are children that you can just sit down and talk to, and they will understand. They will go the right way. There are children that, okay, as the family, you are the model, you are the one they are looking at, because they don't mainly look at what you tell them. Your lifestyle is what they even listen more. They even take that more serious than what you say to them. So there are parents that, okay, they just tell their child, don't go that way, and that child will listen. There are other children that until you bring out Cain, it must go that way. So what do you do if you have a child that if you don't bring out Cain, will not go that way? So what do you spank? That doesn't mean that you're going to kill the child. But the world, the government, they are making laws for us to tell us that, okay, this is the way we should raise our children. Don't spank. And at the end of the day, we have children that are wayward in the society. But I think my child is my child. Like you talk about this, I have had a first-hand experience. I remember when my children, when they were still home, they used to tell me this, Mommy, you are the one God called, he didn't call us. Don't force God to call us now. You are forcing God to call us. So I've heard all that. But thank God I did.
And today, they can understand. The good thing about it is that my grandchildren today, their parents don't need to force them to do what I was forcing them to do. Because children of this day, they are smarter. They understand better. They saw their parents doing that way, and they just follow them in that way.
So we have smart kids now.
Yes. Yes, smart. Yes. Yes.
Like
yes.
smartphones.
Yes, exactly. That's what we have. Yeah.
Okay, so your book, Beneath the Glamour, touches on the personal challenges of being a pastor's wife. How do these experiences shape your views on family and raising children amidst modern day distraction? You know?
The thing is that when you see a pastor's wife, he calls out in the open, and maybe daddy is even kissing her on the altar. And we are like, oh, I wish I'm the pastor's wife. I want to be like the pastor. I want to marry a pastor. But the truth is that sometimes that they come out in the altar, they are smiling. They've cried inside the room. Sometimes you are in the living room, they are in the bedroom crying. Somebody tell them, and somebody like this is in the living room waiting for you. She quickly goes in, wash the face, and come out, bring a smile. And you think that the pastor's wife don't have challenges. They have challenges. They are human beings. They are married to a man. Men were men before they became men of God. So that man, and it's not, the man is not spiritual 247. There are those times. There are times that is not, that is human, and that human nature comes out, and you are like, oh, the mommy joys, you know. So that is basically what happens. And the pastor's children too. People think that the pastor's children, because they are pastor's children, they must be superhuman. They must be different. They must be spiritual. They are also children. They are also human. Every challenges, every child goes through. They go through those challenges. They even have much more. Because as the pastor's child, as the pastor's wife, the devil does not want the pastor to do what he's doing. He's fighting the pastor. And now he wants to reach the pastor. If he can't reach the pastor personally, he wants to reach those around to distract the pastor. So you see that they are like in the front line.
Yeah, I was having a chat with someone some time ago, and he said, listen, these pastors are so busy that they hardly have time for their families.
Yes.
Sunday is a service. Monday they go fishing. Tuesday is one thing, group, and then by the time they get home, they hardly have time to even. So we really must, praise them. Yes. Those pastors and pastors' wives who are able to still get their families.
And in the middle of the night, they can get call. The pastor and the wife can be, you know what I mean? And they get a call.
And he has to
stop
answer.
To respond. Yes. To respond to the call.
He has time for.
Okay, this is a breakfast show. This is a breakfast show. Pastor, Mrs. and John. All right, so we're almost winding up the conversation, and I wish we had more time to look at, the pastor, the wife, the husband, and the wife, ordinary husband and wife, in the scheme of things as the family is collapsing at this point in time.
Yes.
We'll have you back, because that's a big area, But if one lady or one man was just joining in this show, in this conversation in the last 1, 2, 3 minutes, what would be 2 points?
Actually, we have 30
that
seconds.
You will say as a rounding up for this show. What would it be?
What I want to say is that we should give time to our children. We should not be too busy not to have time for our children. They are our tomorrow. They are our everything. You see, the best job you can do as a mother, as a woman, is raising your children.
And that is the take home.
Thank you.
Indeed,
that's the best job.
That is the way to wrap up the show. And all I can say at this point is
thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Awesome. So now,
that's about the size of our show with this conversation with Madam. John, do we have time for your nuggets? Director Louis, quickly.
Okay.
1 minute.
So my nugget is this. He says I should do it quickly.
Yes.
Waiting and hoping leads to one big nothing. Do something. So when you keep waiting and hoping without putting your hand to the plow, it really doesn't get you far. Miracles do happen, but only for those who have worked towards it. Facing your audience and succeeding is no game of chance, and whether you have a great outing is a function of how well you've prepared. The secret behind the miracle is your knowledge of yourself, the audience, the content, the purpose, and your action. Bottom line, work towards success and never wait for it, because it will never come to you in your dark corner. If you want to know more,
ask yes.
Ask yes.
That resonated with you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for being our final and last guest on today's show. We have enjoyed your presence and your input. Thank you to you out there for always joining us on this show today with John and Helen Live. We'll be back same time next week by the special grace of God, and we hope you will join us then. Bye for now. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, and I'm out.